The flock is happening. Yes, we are back with FPL videos, even though the game isn't out. Nothing has been announced so far, but we are going to continue to make content for you guys getting ready for next Fantasy Premier League season. First off, massive apologies for no Game Week 38 video and no season roundup. Not going to lie, very, very long season. And to be honest, with Game Week 37 being a really bad one for me and me seeing my rank double, I just didn't have the heart to make that video or a review video because I was so disappointed with how my season had ended. But I am back and I don't like to dwell on things. Let's stay positive. And today we have a video going over the best players to have owned last season and what you could have done if you just from the beginning of the game set out with the best players. Now I know hindsight is 2020, but potentially looking at this, we could learn a few things about how to play the game next year. So what we've done is we have compiled the highest scoring players, or at least what we could compile with the budget you get at the beginning of the game. So of course we can't have 4 of the big hitters because we just wouldn't be able to make a side. We spent 82.5 million on this starting 11, and before we go into it, let's just mention my ranking from last year. It was 56,093rd in the world out of 9+ million players. So still a decent rank, not as good as I would have liked, but still a pretty decent score of 2,543. Last game week we got 78 points, but hopefully we will break that top 10k next season. That is our major goal. But on to the content of the video, and if you like this idea, please do feel free to hit the like button, subscribe and comment down below if you think there was any other combination of players I could have done. But we start off with the defense, and actually, having looked at it myself, the best team you could have made and then just sat on it for the whole season would have had 5 defenders. That would be SoRare in goal at 5 million. We had to go cheaper because of some of the bigger hitters further up the field. 146 points for SoRare in a wall side that potentially none of us really looked at as that defensively solid, but they did rack up the points. And he's joined by Cody, who was the highest scoring 4.5 million defender from the beginning of the game, to get a decent amount of points. We then go a bit heavier in the budget, and we went with Cancelo at 6 million, 201 points, and Trent Alexander-Arnold with 208. Now, of course, if you had Robertson at the right times in the season, this could be improved upon, but Trent overall for the whole season scored better than Robertson. But the thing is, with this team, if you made the right moves in the right time, of course you would get more points. The person who won the entire thing, Jamie Piggott, got 2,844 points in total. We, of course, are not looking at that higher total overall, but Cancelo with 201 points and Trent at 208 were the best 2 defenders to own long term. Rudiger also came in with a very respectable 150 points, starting price at 5.5 million, and actually outscored Reece James. And then we've also got Matip at 5 million, getting 170 points. Great way into that Liverpool defence on a budget. Moving on to the midfield, and we can see that I've managed to get in Son and Salah, the 2 highest scoring players from the season just gone. 265 points for Salah and 258 points for Heung-min Son, who of course didn't have penalties as well. So massive scores from them. And to accommodate them, we've gone in midfield with Bowen at 6.5 million. Yes, I don't think any of us would have said at the start of the season last year that Bowen would get over 200 points, but he definitely proved his value this season. And then Maddison at 7 million at the start of the game got 181 points. Now, I know Maddison was off the radar for a lot of the season, so of course you could have brought in other players during this period where he wouldn't have been getting those points. But if you had him every time he did play, 181 points is a good return for a £7 million midfielder. And somehow we have also fit in Harry Kane at 12.5 million at the start of the game, who would have got you 192 points, which is surprising to me, to be honest, having tried to make this team with the starting prices in the game, how you could get Salah, Son, Kane, Cancelo and Trent all in the side with 2 more defenders from the top 3 teams in Rudiger and Matip, and also the likes of cheap midfielders Bowen with 206 points. So as you can see, it's capable of getting 3 big hitters in there. Of course, your bench would be absolute slim pickings. You would be looking for a £4 million goalkeeper, and then £4.5 million across the board. Potentially your other strikers aren't starting, so you would have no bench to rely on if you went this side. So you might have to transfer out. Maybe Rudiger for a £4 million playing defender would have worked, because 5.5 million for the 150 points. Cody at 4.5 million getting 138. Rudiger probably is a place where you could downgrade. Also, you could downgrade with Sar to a 4.5 million goalkeeper, and that might strengthen your bench just a little bit. And maybe you don't go with Maddison and you look elsewhere for a midfielder that could score you points. But what does that actually score you, I hear you asking me through your screen, as I've just talked about players that you all know about anyway. But you could have, with this side and not changing anything all season, got 2,115 points, which would give you an estimated rank of 1.8 million. Now, if you consider that 9 million plus people played the game, of course, a lot of dead teams by the end of the season, that is still not a terrible rank overall for your average player. However, that, of course, isn't taken into account captaincy at all. So if we just went with one captain for the entire season and just made sure to play the triple captain at a good time, we are using Salah as a sample here. If we captain Salah all season and triple captain him for double game week 26, where he got 28 points, we would actually see a change in our overall score and rank of points going up to 2,436, an estimated rank going up to 230,000. That's an incredible jump in rank, of course, and it's not even like you're getting the captaincy call right every single game week. You've just stuck it on one player and managed to get the triple captaincy right, and you see that bigger jump in overall rank. So what are the lessons to take from this? The lessons I'm going to potentially take into next season is to try and actually fit in maybe 4 or 5 key players that I think are season keepers and not switch them so much. Because one of the big things I did at the end of the season is I had Heung-min Son, I took him out for Kevin De Bruyne, and of course Son then went and had a really good game week. I then regretted that decision, took out Son, and then Kevin De Bruyne had the game where he scored, was it 4 goals, and had an incredible score. So I managed to miss the upside of both Son and Kevin De Bruyne, who I would have probably captained in both games had I not made the moves. So basically, trying to chase the upside of both players, I actually transferred out the player who was about to do well, which of course hurt my overall rank. If I'd had Son as captain in the game week he did well in, and had De Bruyne as the captain in the game week he did well in, it would have been amazing. But I'd got neither. Whereas if I'd just kept Son, I would have at least kept Son's good game week. So one of the lessons I'll probably take from it is, unless I have to, or unless I really think the upside of a double game week is just too big to ignore, I might stick with players like Son and a Salah for the entire season and make moves elsewhere. Hopefully that wasn't too rambly of an explanation around that, but I think this just does show that sometimes we may tinker with our sides just a little bit too much, and potentially we should just be looking for the bargains like Bowen throughout the season and maybe stick with players like Son, Salah and Kane and Trent and Cancelo for the majority of it and just see those points come in. Anyway guys, hopefully this has been an insightful video for you guys and helped you with your preparation for next season. If it has, please do hit that subscribe button so you know when my videos do go live. Hit that notification bell too. We're going to make videos throughout pre-season already, starting now, because we just want to get as much information out there for you guys to do the best that you can do next season. So come along and join the flock, join the ride. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.